All right, this is part 2 of budget. This is Professor Homa, and where we left off last time, we just made this column we formatted as number, and we did this in the number section over here, and that put dollar signs and it put 2 decimal places, which we can adjust if we need to, but actually that's fine for now. Okay, so moving along, we're going to do some operations over here, or write some formulas so that we can take this value. Now note, this value is from cell B4. So we're going to take the value from B4, the value, and put it in here. So we're actually going to go into this one, and we're just going to take the same value. We're not going to type in 35,000. We're actually in this cell, F5. I'm going to go up here to my formula bar, and I'm just going to type in equals B4. And that just means it's just going to pull the value from over here in B4 and put it in this cell. And I'm also going to, as long as I'm doing this, we might as well format all these cells here as number as well. And if you don't have enough room, we'll just stretch it out a little bit. So you can see it took the same value and it put it in here. So this is just equal to whatever B4 is. So if I would change this and make this 45,000, you would add the same value here, put the same value here. So whatever's, I'll put this back to 35. And what we'll do is we'll just figure out our value with taxes taken out, and we'll figure out our monthly net. So net is basically with taxes taken out. So the way to figure this out is we could take, we're going to write a formula. So we're going to do equals sum, that's the way we start our formulas, and then parentheses. And in there I'm going to take my value, and I could use this value, I could use the other one, but I'll use this one. I'll take F5, and I'm not going to use the number, I'm going to use the cell reference of F5, and I'm going to multiply that. I could do 2 things. On the sheet I could take my salary, subtract it from 20% of it, or this is probably easier, so I'll just show you this. I'll just multiply it by 0.80, which will give me 80% of my salary, which will be the same as 20% taken out. So that'll be the easiest thing, so I'll just put that in there. So this formula is what I'm going to put in there. Sum of F5, which is whatever value is in F5, times 0.80. And I'll hit return. Whenever you type in a formula, hit return when you're done. And if you ever screw up your formula, if you ever type in other cells, or it's adding other cells to it that you don't want, just hit your escape key. Okay? So right now I have a value about 20% of 35,000, or about 80% of that is 28,000. So that's with 20% taken out, taxes, whatever. Okay, so that's my net value. Now I still need a monthly value. So monthly, I mean, obviously you know how to figure out monthly. We're going to take our yearly divided by 12. So that's how we'll figure out how much a month we'll get. Even if you'd get paychecks twice a month, we just want a monthly value. So we're going to take the value we have right here. Again, we're not going to use the numbers, we're just going to use the cell reference, so that whatever values change, it'll just update. So we're going to take cell F6 divided by 12. Okay, so to figure that out, I'm going to go in this cell, because this is where we want it. This is the target cell that we want for income monthly. And I'm going to start typing my formula and do equals sum, and then parentheses, we're going to do F5, or I'm sorry, that's F6. F5 was the one above it, F6, which is the 28,000, and then we're just going to divide it by with a /12. That'll just take our value, our 28,000 divided by 12. And again, we're using cell references, not the number. And if nothing happens yet, make sure to hit return. I'll hit return. And there's my number. So there's my monthly value of $2,333.33. That's my 28,000 divided by 12. So that's my monthly income. So this value will need to go in here. But rather than typing it, we're going to do the same thing like we did before. And figure this is almost like a filter. It's going over here, getting our number, and now it's coming back. So we could just take the number from this cell. So this cell happens to be F7. So we're just going to put, for this cell, we're going to put equals F7. And that's all we need. And it should put in the 233.33. So it'll put in our value there. So that's my monthly income from my yearly of 35,000. It goes over here, takes out 20% of taxes, leaves me with 28,000, and then divided by 12 leaves me this value. Again, it's pulling from here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use that, I'm going to add up all our expenses and subtract it from our monthly income and try to figure out a budget from there. So that'll be our next step. So again, these were our calculations over here.